Hey everybody, Dom Nicastro here, managing editor of CMSWire with new-ish CMSWire contributor Brianna Langley, regional CX specialist for Waste Connections. What's going on, Brianna?
Hi, Dom. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, it's so good to be joining you. And I love anytime we can actually see that someone is in a workspace, like an actual like office, like
Yeah.
conference room. That's so cool. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm actually not in my office, so I'm in our DC location, our DC area location, and I'm working out of their local team's conference room here. So don't get
Nice.
used to this.
Well, I would love having you on. A couple articles now, and I'll tell you, you being a CX practitioner is like awesome. It's so cool. It's like exactly the folks we want to bring into our discussions. You guys, the CX specialists, living and breathing CX every day, and just sharing the stories about how they do that. So you've done a great job with that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely I think it's a new field for everybody, but I think especially for like the utilities and services industry, like what I'm in, it's pretty cutting edge for sure. So it's exciting.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about, your role and your company?
Okay, yeah. So I started my career out in probably as a lot of your readers did in marketing and PR. So I found both of those to be pretty monotonous just for me personally. And then I discovered the field of CX, and it seemed like just the perfect marriage. It opened up really a whole new world for me. Every day it's like a new challenge, so no day ever looks alike, which I love. So there's a lot of opportunities for growth, but I also am just the type of person who loves having multiple projects going on at the same time. Again, I'm sure a lot of your readers can relate. So it keeps things interesting. And my specific role here is a little bit unique. So I'm obviously a regional CX specialist for Waste Connections, which is one of not only the largest, we're actually the third largest waste and recycling company in North America, but in my opinion, one of the most forward-thinking companies in our space. The customer experience as a departmental concept, it's new for a lot of companies, but like I said, it's especially new for utilities or services companies like this. And so it's really been emerging lately as a major differentiator for us. And I'm just really honored to be here and be able to work with and for people who are, forward thinking enough to capitalize on that.
Yeah, everyone's doubling down on it, customer experience. Because I mean, when's the last time you looked at you called or you told someone, look at what my phone can do? Like, no, you talk about the call that you made to customer service or the tweet you sent to them or the email that they didn't respond to. Like, that's what people are sharing today. They're sharing experiences.
Yeah,
They're not sharing much about products anymore. The products just
sure.
work.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your piece today, for CMSWire.com, your second piece with us.
Mhm.
And, I didn't hear you mention anything about being passionate for math and statistics when you were talking about yourself, but yet that's the focus of your column. So,
Yeah.
why is it important for CX professionals to really dig into this arena of math and statistics?
Yeah, I was saying before we went live, my mom is going to be shocked by this interview because
Shout
I've
out to
never,
Brianna's
Angela,
mom.
yep, Angie Langley. No, I've never been a math person. It's never really been my strong suit. Definitely all my lowest grades in high school were in math classes, and frankly, I didn't really care because I didn't expect to go into anything that involved math, right?
Yeah.
But the more experience I gain in the world of CX, the more I'm really learning to appreciate the power of numbers and statistics. And there's three main reasons for that. First, being able to look at a huge data dashboard and being able to recognize and calculate those numbers fairly quickly in your head and kind of be able to decipher what they really mean is hugely helpful in this line of work. But secondly, building out predictive models that really allow you to forecast customer behavior. That's impossible to do accurately without probability and statistics.
Mhm.
And so I guess when it's something you really care about, math becomes a little bit easier. But thirdly, and definitely my favorite reason, again, I'm sure a lot of your readers can relate, but probably the biggest hurdle that I've experienced in my line of work has been, getting internal buy-in and budget and convincing people of the real benefits of these very crucial initiatives. And so when you have some hard data and hard numbers to back that up, it becomes a lot harder to argue with, right?
Yeah,
So,
it does.
yeah.
100%, 100%. And, it's funny, even in our company, as a media company, we get a lot of questions, when we propose ideas or thoughts, often it's followed up by, what data led you to that thinking?
Mhm.
Right. So it's almost like, can I have a thought without data anymore? I guess,
Right.
I guess you could, but most of the time someone's going to ask you what data is behind that. So I get it. We get it. CX professionals get it for sure.
Sure.
And speaking of that data and that math, you talk a lot about certain mathematical formulas, that you go to. So why don't you give us one example of something you talk about in the piece with one of your formulas and kind of how you go about using it?
Sure. Yeah. I'll talk about one of my favorite ones, actually. When I first started at my current company, one of my personal goals was to kind of establish some metrics that, dug a little bit deeper than just your average NPS or CSAT score. Not that those aren't important. It's highly important for CX professionals to keep their finger on that pulse, right? But there are other things you could be measuring that could be equally as insightful for you. So for example, for me, one of those was the Airline C formula. It goes beyond customer sentiment and kind of really gets at the heart of the operational efficiency behind, agents actually being able to serve customers on the front lines. So basically, it's just a very, simple, I say simple, math is never simple, but
Yeah.
it's just for some people, it's a very simple math equation that basically determines how many CSRs are needed at any given call center, just based on the influx of calls and the customer base there. And then we can even break it down further to determine how many of those CSRs are really needed full-time on the phones, and how many of those maybe we could consider dedicating to other digital touch points like, live agent messaging and receiving reports from the mobile app from customers and things like that. So it's just been really a lifesaver for a lot of our sites.
It's so consistent with things we're hearing, Brianna, throughout the industry with CX leaders trying to empower agents. At the end of the day, like, who's in front of the customer, it's
Mhm.
agents. So, unfair metrics to agents are not cool. Just measuring them by, how fast did you figure this out for the customer, which is important, but
Yeah,
only using like that one thing, or only using resolutions, and that's it. That's all they're judged by. Like, what if an
right.
agent took long to solve something because they were being personable? You
Right. And
know?
you never want, well, I think the big thing with especially with the Erlang C formula, you never want those agents who are so crucial to your CX to feel overburdened or overwhelmed on a daily basis, right? So it's really important that you, keep the right amount of staff, in on the front lines.
Yeah, exactly. It only helps, and I think that the agent's experience ties into the whole employee experience
Oh
meets
yeah,
customer experience theme, because if you're
for
keeping your
sure.
agents happy, that has to be a good thing, seeing that they're dealing with a real tough job.
Yeah.
Let's end here. Give our readers and listeners, some sort of not predictions, but sort of things that you might write about down the road, things you kind of follow, and
Yeah.
what's keeping your mind occupied in the world of CX.
So I swear I did not send Dom my this answer ahead of time. But it's like you literally read my mind. Right
No.
now, yeah, like literally.
Empowering agents, that
Yeah,
one? Oh,
yeah. Imagine
beautiful.
that. So
It's awesome.
specifically, I'm really interested in the idea of using AI and
Mm,
crawling software, speech analytics as an alternate, more empowering and I think more helpful way to evaluate CSRs.
mm.
Rather than those super inflexible scripts and the secret shopper services and things like that are being used in some places. So I think we're already seeing a lot of really impressive developments with that specific technology. So I'm excited to watch those continue to develop, and I think we're going to push it even further. So that's something I'm really excited about. But to your point earlier, I'm also really enjoying observing just the evolution of the CSR role. It's so crucial, and I'd love to see it grow even more to include more training on how AI works, or more training on management of digital customer touch points, like I mentioned earlier, and hopefully eventually less time on the phones. I think that's just a really fascinating trend right now, and something I'm definitely keeping an eye on.
Yeah, it's a job that only the bold sign up for, and as long if CX leaders like you and continue to invest in that agent experience, that can only be a good thing. Because man, that's a job and a half, right? I mean, when's the last time someone called an agent and said, "Hey, just want to let you guys know you're doing a great job. See you later." Like,
right? Yeah, no, it's usually more errs on the side of verbal abuse. I think it's crazy what they deal with.
Horrific. It's horrific, and that's coming, and it's great that you guys are doing, doubling down on paying attention to that. So, Brianna Langley, this has been so cool, so awesome to connect with you like this, and we're looking forward to more and more columns of CMSWire, and I hope that you're like personally an inspiration to more CX practitioners to get out there and start talking with us, because creating that CX dialogue from the practitioner standpoint is gold. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That was Brianna Langley of Waste Connections. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.